Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Friday, everyone. Time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So the shop looks very empty right now, but there's 3 cars outside at the moment. Well, there's 3 cars outside, plus there's 3 more that are in the bodywork stage. So there's actually 6 cars outside. Anyway, so don't worry guys, we're by no means empty or wanting for work. Anyway, so why don't we talk about what happened around here today? Couple things. One is I took and I don't really have any show and tell, but I did take the Barndoor, the 54 Barndoor, for a little ride over to the other side of Orange. I had to pick up a proper 6-volt battery for the blue 64 Beetle, and I thought, well, I need to put some more miles on this Barndoor bus anyway, so went ahead and hopped in it and drove it over to the O'Reilly's on, if you're familiar with this area, drove it to the O'Reilly's on the other side of the 55 on Chapman and picked up a battery over there. They have the correct size for early 6-volt V-dubs. Anyway, so yeah, it was my my parts hauler today, 54 Barndoor. And yeah, guys, I'm getting very used to the right-hand drive. It doesn't really feel like a very big deal now as far as like being difficult or anything. And shifting with my left hand, again, I'm left-handed, so that's probably a bit easier than for maybe a right-handed person. But anyway, yeah, that car just continues to impress me with how smooth it is, and the engine and the brakes, everything around it. Really well-balanced package. If you're not sure about that bus, if you're new here, then take a look back. You'll see it in a lot of recent episodes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, the 64 Beetle got the correct size battery today, and the battery cover had some rust on it and some paint flaking off. So sanded that down and painted it, and then got the proper battery strap for it. And it's all installed now. So the only thing I'm waiting on that car, other than putting some more miles on it, is the gray shift knob, which hopefully I'll have early next week. And I need to start talking about the owners about taking delivery of that bad boy. So I'm very excited for them. So other than that, guys, I mostly got back to this thing, just ironing out details here. So I did go ahead and start test fitting the front engine tin and the two doghouse pieces. So the only reason I hadn't done this piece yet is I did have to briefly take the engine off the stand and trim the engine stand, this ear here on it a little bit to clear this, so this could get mounted on here. So I did that real quick and then put the engine back on here, started mounting this up, and it fit okay. However, I did have to trim it a little bit in the bottom of the opening where this, I don't know, I like to call it a snorkel, comes through for the exhaust for the doghouse cooler. So this is where the hot air, after it goes through the cooler, which is of course located here, goes down here and then shoots out by the transmission, keeping all that hot air out of the engine compartment. Anyway, so yeah, I had to do some finagling on this piece, mainly to get this to fit and line up with its hole that you can't see where it mounts to the shroud, sort of underneath this piece. This piece went on with minimal forming. I did have to tweak on it a little bit, but yeah, overall these pieces back here went on okay, just a little bit of trimming. I also went ahead and fit the breastplate here, the rear engine tin. And as you can see by my various arrows and stuff on it, I needed to push on it and pull on it and beat on it with a block of wood a little bit and stuff like that. And then likewise had to do a little manhandling, so to speak, of the pulley tin. But yeah, it all bolts together now. So this thing basically has 2 bolts on each side. So one there, one there, one there, and one there. And then it kind of picks up some of these. So I am getting the rest of the engine tin here to make this engine tin complete. So there's this sort of sled-shaped pieces that pick up the cylinder tin back here and kind of go under the motor this way, and they pick up tabs on the heater boxes. So I've got those coming, and then there's another couple pieces that kind of hang down right in this area here to make sure that the area coming down this side of the cylinder tin kind of continues to wrap around the heads and stuff over here. So yeah, those two pieces and then the sort of sled shaped pieces that go under the tins, those should be here like Monday, I think. And then other than that, guys, pretty much waiting before I finalize all the tin, I'm waiting on the air conditioner system, which I did order to come in because generally speaking, you have to relocate this. And so I've got to get everything mocked up and see where I'm going to locate this. It's going to be over here somewhere, but I don't know where yet. I want to make it as clean as possible as far as where this where the heater hose on this side comes out. And so yeah, I get to get that, the brackets, etc., for mounting the compressor here. Kind of start figuring out where the inlet and outlet of the compressor, those big thick lines are gonna run, big thick hoses, stuff like that. So still a lot of mocking up to do, but for now I wanted to go ahead and make sure that all the tin on here actually like fit together, which with impy tin can be a bit of a challenge and a little annoying, but you know, I've done it enough that I sort of know where to look and what to do and what to pry on and stuff to get it to fit. So still kind of a pain though, but anyway, so all the tin fits itself now. So that's a good sign. So now again, it's just a matter of, well, those other few pieces, those should be pretty easy. Those usually aren't very problematic, the ones that go underneath here and down there. And then it's a matter of checking with the air conditioner. The other thing that I have to do is I'm going to have to put some holes in this front engine tin here to route the oil cooler, or excuse me, the oil breather. So probably what I'll do with these is come this way and then loop around and then come through the front engine tin on both sides with some sort of like a bulkhead fitting, or maybe just a big fat grommet to protect the hose from, since it'll be running through sheet metal. And then probably end up mounting a little oil breather box back here, you know, kind of hidden and out of the way. So we'll see. So yeah, still a lot more mock-up and stuff on this to do, but coming along pretty nicely. I did run into one snag though. I started test fitting the mustache bar, which again is this bar here that mounts the motor towards the back of the car. And apparently I was sent the wrong muffler because look at this, guys. If you start swinging this baby up here to the right place, it goes to about there and then massively hits the mustache bar. So this is clearly not the right muffler for a bay window. And it was actually had a tag on it where it was labeled for, I don't know, like up to 67 bus. And I didn't really think about it that much. I just kind of assumed that maybe it magically cleared a mustache bar, but apparently it's different. So I will, this exhaust system is of course made by A1, but I bought it through Jason over at Air Cooled Vintage Works. So he probably just grabbed the wrong one. So not a big deal. And luckily I've been very gentle with this while I've been test fitting it. So it's not, you know, banged up in any way. So he can, should be able to just exchange this for one that will actually work on a bay window. So, yeah, this is why, guys, I literally test fit everything, assemble everything, even multiple times before I even think about putting an engine in a car, because there's always something like that. And you know, it's just mistakes happen, so I don't really get upset about it. Not a big deal. And Jason's super cool to deal with, so he'll exchange that no problem. I'm sure I'll have it early next week. But yeah, this is why I test fit everything out of the car. And I do even plan to, even though this motor is fuel injection, I plan to try and run it on the test stand here. I'm going to have to figure out how to, what to do with the fuel, because of course being fuel injected, it has a high pressure fuel pump and a return line. So shouldn't be too hard to wire that up and stuff, and you know, run some hoses in and out of a little gas can that I use when I do run engines on the test stand. But yeah, I want to run this thing on the test stand and you know, make sure everything is working good. And then we'll probably go ahead and dyno this motor as well, just to you know, get it under a load, do some kind of initial tuning and stuff. I will probably see if I can do that over at AJ's shop, over at Low Bucket, because it is his fuel injection system. So it would probably be better to do it over there with his knowledge of this system. And, you know, again, do some kind of like initial tuning, make sure it's running good, pulling through the RPM range and stuff like that. And then and only then will I think about plugging it into this bad boy here that we lovingly call Big Blue. So yeah, just chipping away at it, guys. That's kind of how it goes with these projects. So tomorrow being Saturday, I will actually be in this Saturday for a few hours. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. I may get back to the engine on that one, which is of course the beautiful 68 Ghia, and go through some of its ancillary items for its engine. And I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. But I will be in tomorrow for at least a couple hours, few hours, and there will be an episode tomorrow. So please be on the lookout for that. So in the meantime, guys, that is it for now. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.